Hello my gorgeous loves out there and welcome. In today's video, we are going to get into the new Haunted palette. This is a collab with Gourmande Girls and Doodles by the Bunny. This is their third collab together. So I'm going to create a couple looks, do some swatches, and show you guys how they compare to the other collab palettes that they did. But before we get into this video, if you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Bri and I am just a crazy lover of all things beauty, and I like to post a lot of fun, colorful makeup content. I like to do a lot on indie makeup. So if that is what you're into, then please consider hitting that subscribe button and joining this little family. But with that being said, let's get into this video. All right, my fall babes, are you guys feeling the fall vibes yet? Because I'm not. Even though I did decorate the back, I added a little bit of fall touches. I'm trying to get into that mode, even though it's 100 degrees outside here. It's going to be a while before it cools down, probably not until the end of October, but I'm trying to get into the spirit since we're going into spooky season. This is like spooky themed, so I'm trying to feel that way. It's not hitting yet, but once the weather changes, I'll probably get more into that mindset. I even started decorating out in my living room and all that. But anyways, let's get into this little spooky palette. I'm gonna give you guys the info and then we're gonna compare it to the other two. So this one goes for $54.99. It's the same size as the other two palettes, the Spooked and the Nightshade, all the same size, 14 shades in here. But here's the packaging up close, the spooky little ghosts that look angry, the haunted sign, and then there's info in the back. And then here's how it looks inside. There's a mirror, and then here are the shades. This one has some purple, greens. We got some grungy nudes in here. We have a little bit of pink. It's really pretty, and there's fun little like bright kind of pops in here, like especially this lime green, which I'm most excited for. This has a mix of matte and metallics. Looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mattes. There's this one right here that looks more like a satin, and then the rest look a little bit more foil. This one looks like it's going to be on the smoother end, but it's very, very pretty. And I'm liking the color story. I mean, I immediately gravitated towards it, and I really like Gourmande Girls' formula. I like the other two collabs, so I was like, I have to pick this one up. But I want to compare this one to the other one. So we'll start off with the Spooked palette, which is not available anymore, and I'm not sure if they're going to bring this back. So maybe that's why they didn't do this as a bundle option. But here is the Spooked palette. So the Haunted palette is definitely different. This one has a little bit of more warmer grungy nude shades in here. It has these like 3 darker mattes, and this one really just has this one as the darkest matte, the black, but they both have a matte black. They both have purple, but these are more pinky, like a pinky purple. This is more of a cool tone purple. And then it has this deep purple on the Spooked one. This one doesn't really have a deep purple. I mean, it has more of like this blue sparkly shade. I just feel like there is a good amount of difference besides like maybe some green, but this one is definitely a different undertone, more like yellowy than this green up here. So there are some similarities to this, but I think they're different enough. If you wanted to buy both, I don't think it would be like duping each other. I think they would pair very nicely. And then I'll show you the Nightshade palette, which I think that's the one that is most similar to the Haunted palette. So I'll show you guys how they compare. So the Nightshade's up here, the Haunted is down here. You see how similar these are? They both have greens and purples and like bright kind of yellowy pops in them. So I'll show you like right here and here. I mean, this one's more of a yellow and this one is more of a lime green, but they both have that bright pop. Then there's like these lighter shimmers. These lean on more on the pink side. These lean more on the lavender side, but they have similarities to them. Now this Nightshade one has 2 dark metallics, which this one doesn't. This is like the darkest metallic in here. It's more blue. These lean kind of gray purple, but it has like these purples. Now they're slightly different undertones and both have a matte black in there. So I feel like these two compare really closely. I mean, even like these mustardy shades kind of match up with this one. This one just leans more yellow. These lean a little bit more orange. But I don't think you would necessarily need both of them. I mean, it'd be fine to have both of them. I don't think there's any exact dupes because there's slightly different undertones to them. So I feel like this one, the Haunted palette, is kind of a mixture between the Nightshade palette and the Spooked palette. I'll show you guys all three. Because this one has more of those like grungy neutrals mixed in versus this one really doesn't. And this one is more, you know, on the nudie side with more like a few pops of color. So that was a comparison, so you could, you know, see for yourself how they look once they're next to each other. So before we get into the two looks, I wanted to ask you guys really quickly, if you can let me know in the comments below, do you like it when a creator does two different looks on each eye so that they can incorporate more looks to the video and test out more of the shadows? Or do you like where the look is complete on both sides and you have separate looks? I usually prefer it that way, but if you guys prefer seeing two different looks on each eye so you can see more look inspirations and see more testing of the shadow, I can definitely do that. I just want to know if that's something you guys would prefer or not prefer. Anyways, now let's get into the looks. So I went ahead and primed my eyes with the Kaleidos Tone Activator Primer. Did not set it, the usual deal. I put a little bit of lip mask on because my lips are so dry. This is from Kaleidos, the Blue Agave Lip Mask. So let's get into the palette now. I want to do a two-tone look. So I'm going to start off with the purple shade. It obviously seems like Doodles by the Bunny really likes her purple and green tones when it comes to palettes, because all of her palettes have some kind of purple or green to them, which I am also a big fan of purple and green, so I don't blame her for always incorporating those colors. But I'm gonna put that on the outer corner. I'm gonna bring it pretty far in. Gonna bring it kind of down here too. Now I want to blend out this purple with this spectral shade. This one looks like a satin, and this is my first time I think they ever had like a satiny kind of shade. And the palette, it's like a matte that has like a sheen. So I would describe a satin. But it does have a little sheen to it. So I thought that was different. I'm going to use that up here. Whoa, it's really sheeny actually. But it just looks like it's definitely more on the smoother side. I mean, you could use this as a like metallic or like a shade on the lid, but I think it looks really pretty using it as a blendy shade. It's kind of like a hybrid. You could do both. So I'm gonna go into So Haunted, this shade right here, and I'm gonna use this. It's Bell, what is this, the E3 brush. So like small and great for like defined shapes and for hooded eyes. And I just want to pack that here. I just want it to do like a very purple and yellowy look, but this is more like a mustard, and it's going on very nicely. So now let's go into the Obsessed shade right here. It's slightly lighter and there's slightly different tones to them, but I'm going to use that on the edge. I don't know if you'll even tell the difference, but I'm just using that on the edge here. And I think I want to kind of pop that down here. And I don't know if it will truly be bright enough to be in a corner highlight, but I just wanted to put it there too. So now I'm going to go and run the Bewitched shade further down on the lower lash line and just kind of stamp that on here. Just bring the purple in. I'm not going to bring it all the way in. It's right there. And now I want to get a little bit of a matte black into the mix. So I'm going to go into Troubled and use that on the outer corner over the purple out here, just to add a little bit more depth. And here, I'm not going to go too crazy with the black. Just going to make it look more like a darker purple on the outer corner. Just going very softly into the black shade. Don't go too hard or you might get too much pigment. I would say always work slowly with a matte black. Just keeping that right there in the outer corner. So now let's get into the metallics. I'm going to go into the shade called Apparition. This one right here. It's more bluey tone shade. I'm going to just go in there. I love the little imprints on the pans. This has like a little ghost. This one looks like one of those very foiled flaky shades. And I'm going to spray it a bit with my little sprayer thing. It's just water in here. And I'm just gonna bring it here. Oh, that is really, really vibrant and pretty and sparkly. Just gonna keep it more here in the outer edge. So now let's get into the shade I am most excited for, which is the Unearthly shade, the limey green. I'm gonna use that in the inner portion. Oh, it is so pretty. I know it's going to be really foiled on the eyes and I'll probably be super bright. Yes, that was a perfect shade to put on. It has green, but it does lean like, you know, more on the yellowy side. So it's perfect against the mustard yellow shade I have in the inner portion. So that looks gorgeous. It definitely picks up a lot more yellowy on the eyes, and it just might be because it's against the mustard in the front. It might look different against some green mattes, but gorgeous. I also put that in the inner corner. And I think we might as well add some yellow to the bottom. So I'm gonna go into the yellowy mattes and pop that because I forgot to do that step earlier, right there. Keeping with the two-tone here. And voila, easy two-tone purple yellowy look. So easy to put together. I'm going to go off camera, do liner, lashes, mascara, and then I'll be right back to show you guys the completed look. All right, loves, I am back and here is the completed look. So I decided to paint on these little ghosts. Can you see them? They're so cute. At first I wasn't gonna do it and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try. I even tried painting ghosts on my hands first. I was like, do I want this one or that one? And I decided to go with this little guy and I think it's so adorable. This is the thing, if you want to do something, just give it a try. If it doesn't work out, you can always wipe it off. And it just went so well with, like, you know, the theme with the ghost on the front. So I was like, I'm gonna put a little ghost on my eyes. So I'm really happy that I did that. It's just a fun little easy addition. And I used the palette from Unearthly, the Not in the Mood palette, and went into the black and white little pan right here called Mooed. Right there. So cute. And then for the rest of the look, I went and I put the Kiss Lash Glue liner, created a little line with it. I didn't really do a wing. I wasn't feeling it. But I used the Kiss So Wispy number 11 lashes. I don't know why I'm holding this up when it shows you nothing. And then for my waterline, I used the LA Girl Shockwave liner. This one is in Screamin'. I use this one so much. It's getting small. And then for my lips, I have this lip cream on from Letho. This is the shade called Hydra. I think this was part of their, is it their Wildflower collection? But I was like, you know what? I need a purple lippy, keep it festive. And that is all I did to complete this look. What do you guys think? Does it look like ghosts to you? I even went out and asked my boyfriend, what does this look like on my eyes? And he's like, those are obviously ghosts. And I was like, I nailed it. Anyway, so that was everything for look number 1. I am now ready to get into look number 2. Okay, time for the next look. I did prime my eyes with the Kaleidos Tone Activator Primer. I did not set it. Did the same old spiel. So now I'm going to go into the other colors. I'm thinking more grunge is the direction we're going for this one. So I'm going to start off with Supernatural. Or no, you know what? I'm going to start off with Scare. This one actually instead. And I'm going to fluff that through the crease. I have so many little sparkles on my lids. I try to get off as much of the makeup as possible, but these little shimmers want it to stay. So this is a very cool toned grayish, leaning a little purple, but definitely more on the gray side. And I'm just using that as my transition. So I made like a nice little cool toned crease. I am using the It's Belle Cosmetics E6 brush. And now I'm going to use the same brush. I'm just going to clean it off with a little color switch real quick. This one's from Mooed. And I'm going to go into the shade now, Supernatural. I think they're going to mesh just fine. This is kind of like a burgundy shade, but I feel like it leans a little bit on the cooler side. And I'm going to use that on the outer corner as my deepening shade. I'll probably use the matte black too. But yeah, this meshes really well with the Scared shade. So I do want to go back into this Spectral shade. I really like it. I like the sheen, and it's really great at like blending edges out and then adding a little bit of a highlight effect. It's giving me like a brow bone highlight, while also blending out the edges. I just really think this shade is cool. I'm not used to a satin being so sheeny. This would probably work as an inner corner highlight too. Now I want to go into the matte black, the troubled shade right here. I love that she always includes a matte black in her palettes, which to me, I love, because if I want to deepen up a look, I have that option. If there's a matte black in here, you can just kind of layer it over any shade and just make a darker version of that shade. Or you could just, you know, get really dark and smoky. So I just love that that's always incorporated in a palette. I know not everyone uses a matte black, but I do, so it works out for me. So on the lower lash line, I want to go green. Yeah, green is the mood right now. Green is always the mood. So I'm going to take this shade right here called Horrify. It's beautiful olive. Like, I had to fight myself to not do a completely green look. I was trying to like not go that direction like I normally would like to. So that's a gorgeous olive shade. It's on the warmer side, but it's so pigmented. So to do a little bit of blendy action, I am going to take this little brush right here from Farrah, and I'm gonna use the shade called Cursed. It's just a lighter olive shade. Dust off the excess, and I'm just gonna run this down here on the edge just to blend everything. Keep the green though. I do want to take the shade called Airy and use that in the front portion on the lower lash line, because that's what I like to do. So I'm gonna take this It's Belle. This is the E1 brush. It's such a little detail, like pencil brush. And I'm gonna go into this one. This one looks like it's gonna be more of a smooth shade. Not as flaky as the other ones. Yeah, it picks up really well on a brush. I'm gonna wet it though, because that's what I like to do. And I'm just gonna pop that right in the front. Oh, that's such a pretty shade, and it's so bright. I love that. And then kind of mesh it into the olive. So now we are going to get into shimmers on the lid. And I think I want to go back into that big flat shader brush that I used in the first look. It's from ColourPop. I don't even know what it's called anymore. I think I rubbed off the, like, the name of the brush. But we're going to go into the, is it Jinxed? This one right here. It's pink, but I have a feeling it's going to have a blue shift to it, just based on how it looks. This one is definitely more flaky than that green one, but it's going to be really foiled, I'm sure. And oh wow, I'm getting a little bit of shimmer fallout from that, but it's expected with shades like this. Oh, that is so pretty. I'm going to take a little bit of this ghostly shade, I'm sorry, not ghosty, and use that a little bit in the inner portion. You could do like a really soft kind of lavender look with just these two if you wanted to and not go so smoky. I like that you have options in here, and I'm just going to pop it right there. Now this one leans so pink. It almost looks more like a pink metallic than a lavender, which is totally fine because I wanted a little bit more pink into the look, and I like that it's very different from this metallic right here. It is like on the flaky side, but maybe not as flaky as this other shade. And usually with these kind of shades, once you go on the lid and just spread it, it kind of smooths out on its own, or like with your finger. I am going to see if Spectral could be an inner corner highlight. I have a feeling it can be. I'm going to take that little pencil brush from It's Belle, take off the green, and see. I'm just curious. So we're going to go into the Spectral. We're going to get in there. It picks up a lot, and I'm going to just pop it right there. You could totally use that as an inner corner highlight. I feel like it's kind of meshing right into that pink metallic on the lid, so you can't really see it like that. But you could definitely use this in the inner corner if you have like my skin tone, or deeper. I'm not sure if it'll be bright enough if you have really fair skin, but it just glides right on. And there is the look. What do you guys think? I really like it. It's kind of leaning purple more up here. I was trying to have it lean a little bit more burgundy, but it's fine. So I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to finish off the look and then I'll be right back. All right, y'all, I am back and I decided to try to be more creative again off camera. So this time I decided to try to make a little witch hat, and I feel like it looks like a witch hat. Does it not look like a little witch hat? I mean, witch hats are really easy to paint on. And then I put like little shifty gems out here on the edge just to give it more of like a little magical vibe. And that's like all I did for like, you know, a little additional details, but I am feeling the little witch hats. Yes, I am getting very festive and very into the Halloween spirit right now. But what else I did off camera to finish this look is I used the LA Girl Jet Setter Liquid Liner to create a wing. I also went in with this Uden's Eye Monet Liner in number 6. It looks light on the cap, but it's more of an olive on the pencil, which went with the olive vibes down here. And then for my lips, I was like, why not go for an olivey green lip? Keep it going with the green. So I have the Unearthly Cosmetics lip, or their satin liquid lipstick in Mandy, one of my favorite green lippies to wear. And for my lashes, I use the Milani Highly Rated Mascara and the Wander Beauty Mile High Club Mascara to do my lashes. I didn't put any falsies on this time. And I think that's everything, right? Yeah, that's everything for this look. What do you guys think of this? I love the little witch hat. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling all the vibes right now. But that was everything for look number 2. Pretty sure I'm confirmed on my thoughts, or at least my first impressions on this palette. So let's get into it. All right, loves. So I think this palette is really adorable. It's so cute. I love the theme. I love the packaging. I love the color story. And I love how both my looks came out. I feel so Halloween and inspired right now, even though it feels like somewhere outside. But just overall, this is a really nice palette. It's very consistent to their other palettes, like the same formula that's in the Nightshade, the Spook palette, the one that they did with Siria Soto. So they're very consistent with their formula. Mattes are really soft. They're blendable. They're easy to work with. They're very buildable. They're very user-friendly. Like, it's so easy to go in with these mattes. You can build them up, sheer them out if you need to. They're not overly pigmented where it's just so extreme, but they're not too lightly pigmented that you can't get, you know, depth in them to build up. So I do like their matte formula. And I love the shimmers in here. You have different textures to work with. You have some really sparkly, stunning metallics, like the Unearthly one, the Apparition, Jinx. They're all very sparkly and a little bit more flaky, but they smooth on once you like press it on with a brush or your finger. I feel like the Ghostly one is sparkly, but not as flaky as the other 3. And then this Eerie shade is, you know, on the smooth metallic side. Picks up really easy on a brush, glides on beautifully. And then this one right here, Spectral, is definitely a sheeny satin, and I really, really like it. It's great for blending shades out. It's great for just layering it on the lid if you want more of a softer sheen. You don't want like an intense metallic vibe. You want something a little bit more toned down. You could totally do that with the shade. Use it as a brow bone highlight, inner corner highlight. I mean, I just really think this is such a pretty sheeny satin. And overall, it's just a very cohesive palette. You can create a lot of different looks with this. And I could go so many different directions with this palette, and I love that. There's a lot of variety in here, and all these colors really go well with one another. And I do feel like this will go really well with the other collab palettes. And overall, it was just a really pleasant experience, and I'm happy to have it in my collection. And I'm just happy for Gourmande Girls and Doodles by the Bunny. They make really beautiful collabs together. Like, they just work harmoniously and create such fun little spooky palettes. But that was my thoughts on everything, the 2 looks that I was able to create, the swatches. Hopefully this video was helpful in letting you know if this is something you need to pick up or not. But you guys will have to let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Did you purchase? Did you pass? Have you tried Gourmande Girls? I would love to hear from all of y'all. And if you're new here and you enjoy this video, you like a lot of fun and colorful makeup content, you like a lot on indie makeup, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. I would love to have you here. Also, don't forget to check out the description below. I will have the palette linked where you can find it, any codes that I know of. I think codes don't work on the bundles because they're already discounted, but that will be linked for you, as well as other Gourmande Girl videos that I have done if you want to see like reviews or looks with the other collab palettes, as well as the Seria Soto one. And I will have my makeup linked, like what I'm wearing on my face, foundation, and all of that, in case you're curious. And I will have my contact and my social media platforms linked. I'm also on Instagram as Breezy Lifestyle and Breezy_Beauty. So if you want to join my Instagram fam, I would really, really love that. But guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, for being here, for supporting me. I just think you guys are all so amazing, and I just appreciate y'all so much. And I just hope all of you are doing well wherever you are in the world. Just sending you guys so much light and love. But until next time, bye guys.